right, what's going on, everybody? We are back here today with another episode of Reunion Station. You got myself, Chad Graves, we got Dave Sponicky, and we are joined today by the two folks I have been following for quite a long time from the Car Biz Social team, both Jeff Hunter and Sean Welsh. And it's a pretty awesome full circle moment for me because my first podcast ever in automotive was actually on Mr. Sean Welsh's podcast way back in the day, pre-video days. So this is really cool. I can't wait to really dive in today, talk social media, talk about what you guys got going on, because man, this one's been a long time coming for me. So I'm super excited to have you guys here today.
Chad Graves, we shot. Was that the one we were in Chicago? I was down there for a 20 group, right? And you shot over to the hotel. Yeah, downtown there. We recorded that all audio and
all audio.
Yeah, hey, it's got to be in the first 52 episodes. You know, we're at 325 now. So that was the early days.
Wow, yeah. Sure. You're a pioneer, man. I mean, both of you guys and what you do. So it's going to be a fun one today. But yeah, I don't even think we had cameras. It was just two microphones and we just set it up and started rolling.
Yep.
We'll keep this one short today. I'm pretty sure we went an hour on that one. So as it tends to happen. But we're super excited here, guys. Welcome to Reunion Station here.
Yeah, I mean, we've been big time. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, we've been big time Car Biz and Better fans for a long time. I mean, I know the relationship, as Chad's saying, goes back to before we even had our first office. You know, reunionmarketing.com was like just a website. I think Sean was like, you guys, you know, if you're so great at SEO, then why aren't you ranking on, you know, for your own name? And we said, well, because the website's been live for about 15 minutes, but you know, long time, you know, fans of what you guys have been doing. I think today we're going to be talking a lot about the Car Biz social aspect and some of the organic pieces and a little bit about the event you guys have coming up. But just as a reminder for everybody, you know, we're doing this video series because we want to highlight to our clients, our customers, our partners, the people that they should be looking at and learning more about. You know, we recommend these guys. They do a lot of really great stuff. We have them on because we think that you guys should take a look at them. So why don't you guys give us a little bit of an overview, 2 minutes, you know, in particular, the social aspect of the event, and then we'll talk a little deeper.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll kick it off. I'll just tell you the Car Biz Social was something that came up after years of clients asking me to get into social data. I don't have the passion for it. I don't have the energy for it. And so in 2019, once again, my podcast, bringing people together, Jeff Hunter and his then girlfriend, now wonderful wife, came into Milwaukee to do an episode of the Car Biz Chronicles. And at that time, I just said, look, man, you're doing something really special. I'm really into it. If and when you get tired of retail, just put me on the list. I don't need to be first. I don't need to be last. But just, you know, call me and let me know what's up. And so, you know, we left that meeting. We stayed in touch. We talked. And then I had a chance to really start delving into the data with a friend of mine. And we got into it. And I was just like, dude, I just don't have it. So I hired somebody and they didn't have it either. And it was kind of like, this is boring. So it was kind of getting ready to pull the plug on the concept just because it's not about revenue, right? For me, it's about passion, energy, wanting to do something, make a difference. Jeff Hunter calls me, and Jeff Hunter, why don't you take it from here?
Yeah, I was done with retail. I was done with working on the floor, and like the stars couldn't have aligned any better. Couldn't have been any better. And it was a natural progression from what I did to now what I'm doing. And you know, the one thing about the auto industry is obviously, I mean, I don't want to talk negatively about it, but sometimes you really got to trust the people you're in business with, right? And so to say, I mean, obviously I've had different offers, but it was always going to be Sean first. I mean, great guy to deal with. You guys know him. His integrity is there. You know where you stand. And, you know, that was first and foremost. And then secondly, I could just see he runs a successful company full of integrity. And that's what I wanted to be a part of. And that work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that, man. And so for me, I think following you guys both separately now and now together on social media at different times, like if a dealer's watching Jeff and they're trying to stand out, they're trying to really get their foot wet in social media in general, because I think it's really hard, full transparency, for an agency to give that personality to the dealerships. Like, what would you recommend? How do you, as the expert here in this, how do dealers get started? What's working right now in organic social today?
Yeah, and it's a great end of that question you had. What's working today, right? Because that's the thing with social media is you need somebody who is, first of all, following up on what's going on currently, whether it be trends with the algorithm, whatever it might be. So that in and of itself is a really hard task. And that's actually why I run my own pages aside from CarBiz Social, so that I can be the guinea pig for these dealers. So really quickly, before we even get into that question, I think I just want to talk about what CarBiz Social is, because maybe that gives people a little bit of idea as to what it is we do. And basically, we've set up a business, and it's basically a tiered business, because we can kind of help out with your social media in a number of different ways. We can run certain parts of your social media. I can give one-on-one coaching if you have somebody there, which I know is a hard thing to find right now, or somebody competent. We're digging at analytics and data for every one of these dealers, because the data tells the story, right? And so it just like how I learned myself and how I grew any of my social platforms, it was, what's the data telling me, right? Because I can look at, likes all day long, but it doesn't matter. It's, how many people are engaging, what type of people engage, what are the ages, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of what we do, and like super small nutshell.
But I think that's an important point, Jeff. The point is about the likes, dude. You talk about that a lot with clients. And I think, Chad, when you ask what people need to do to get started, is they need to get past the vanity of it all. You need to get past the fact that your first 10, first 100, first 1,000 posts are not going to go viral. They're not going to make you who you are. Look, you're looking at two different approaches, right, to social media. Like, I do my thing my way, and I've never varied from that. I don't care about algorithms. I post to be relevant, to stay in front of an audience. That's what I do. Jeff Hunter, he posts and gets magnificent attention because he's had a following and he's built it, but it isn't yesterday. All right. I mean, Jeff, how long are you going on your Facebook page being live, dude?
Oh, well, I mean, I had it when I was at the dealership, and that was probably halfway at least into my dealership when I was there for 10 years. That's probably 7 years at least anyway on Facebook.
Okay. It's 7 years of constant activity where these dealers have done nothing on their pages for 2, 3, 4 years. Then they want to post for the month of May, and then they expect to be selling a bunch of cars off Facebook in June. That just isn't, that has nothing to do with the approach of social media. And Jeff is someone who does go viral. Okay. His own content does it all the time. Yet he tells people, don't be in this for that. Right, Jeff?
Yeah. But I run my page for a completely different thing, right? I'm looking to go international, national, whatever, global for that matter, for what my audience is. But when you're a dealer, it's not about the vanity metrics, as Sean say. I use that all the time. It's about focusing on the community that you're in, the people that you can actually sell to. So I don't care if I have 500,000 followers. I would rather have 50 likes on, or 50 comments on something where I'm able to interact with those people. So how do we achieve that? And that's kind of where we come in and help. It's a matter of, dealers doing things that are going to create interaction rather than just posting the picture of a rear end of a vehicle, for an example, which is going to get nothing. It's, asking questions, it's educating, it's helping people. And last but not least, it's not selling to people on your social media. It's, doing everything without doing that. The problem with, selling is they get that all the time. You're providing no value to them. And so why would they follow you? Why would they want to be part of your community? And so, the biggest word I kind of use when it comes to social media now is community. And that's one of the things I think I need dealers to understand is we need to show off who we are, like who our employees are, who our personalities are, and that's what differentiates us from every other Honda, Chevy, whatever dealer across the country. The product doesn't differentiate us. We all have the same stuff, brand new. The difference is who we are and how we can help the people that are close to us. So as far as what dealers need, I can't tell you everything, because then there goes my whole business, right? But no, it's,
keep some hidden.
Like, it's like trends. I mean, trends are a big thing. So, but that's where I help, right? Because dealers, especially dealer principals or managers, the last thing they have time to do is go on TikTok and Facebook and what's the latest trend right now? Like, that's the least of their concerns. Their concerns about moving product. Well, that's where we come in.
And if they're not concerned about that, they're not concerned about their data, right? And as two companies between Reunion and CarBiz Done Better, data is what fuels our lives. It's what allows us to move in the direction we move. So that's a really big deal.
Yeah. But it's not even that. We could show them the data in raw form and they wouldn't know how to read it. It's like reading a different language unless you've been doing it for a while. So not only do we scrape and get that data, but we I don't know if you have this in we translate. I was gonna say
down, right?
It's a book where they would dumb things down in a small book. It's called Cole's Notes, and that's basically essentially what we do. Is we're a translator and we're a dumber downer, for lack of better terminology. It's not not what I mean. But
See, you can tell he's Canadian by dropping that reference, guys. Because here, I think we actually just call it dummies or whatever, right? The books in the U.S. are named like books for dummies. And, you know, there's this really courteous, cool way to say it in Canada.
Very polite.
Like, fuck it.
Or way more politically correct way to say it. Yeah. Cool.
Well, Jeff, I mean, like you mentioned, everybody's social accounts kind of look the same. And we see that all the time. We see really sometimes OEMs are doing organic posts and it's these same exact posts across multiple dealerships. And it's got no engagement. There's no reach. I mean, it's really boring. And really that happens far more often than it should. I mean, it's a giant waste of time. You're checking a box to check off some OEM checklist to make sure that you're doing organic social. So there's a lot of bad out there. You know, when working with you guys, I mean, what can dealers expect that experience to look like? What's the difference between, you know, the great work you guys do, you know, to help set expectations for why, you know, our clients and our friends and people should be talking to you about this?
Well, I wish I had it. We have a notepad that Sean and I give out, and on the very back of it, it says "Stop the scroll."
Ooh.
And how do you do that? Well, you do that by being different, right?
I love that.
So that's kind of our motto: is
that's a great role.
That's the slogan for Car Biz Social, folks. Stop the scroll. It's always been the goal of it. Because Jeff can show you, man. He sends this to me once a month because he follows a ton of dealers, right? There's a ton of dealers on his page, and he'll send me the screenshot. He just scrolls, and his phone just scrolls. It's the same post in the same day for like 50 accounts in a row, dude. It's so sad. Right. It makes me really hurt. But Chad, to your point, people from a distance can't really get into it. Right. So that's where we've cracked that we put boots there. We don't ask for additional expense. We don't have fly-in fees, all this other BS. We put people on the ground. We're starting to amass a team of videographers across the country because 20-something people want to just live. Right. So it's like, well, I'll go work for, you know, whatever a day. And if we give them a shot list, they return with the content, but it's not just that, right, Jeff? People give you a ton of content, but raw content is nothing. Jeff is where the magic happens because then he takes the trend, makes it a post, right, Jeff?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's also about the editing. It's little stuff to the hashtags, what time of day to post, how often, all that kind of stuff, right? So it's like there's a science to it. And, you know, I'll be the first to say that it took me, I'm still learning. I literally learn it every day. And again, that's why I run my own social profiles, is so that I'm not testing my theories out on dealers. I'm testing it on myself first. And if it works, I mean, I'm in the auto industry, right? That's what I do.
Absolutely.
And I also came from a dealership. That's the other big thing too, is we have, both of us, Sean and I, him more so than myself, have dealership backgrounds. So we're not just coming in as these, you know, social media experts or these, you know, I'm not even a millennial. So let's just go there first.
Let's be fair, dude. Dude's the oldest one in my company, right? So like, you know, sorry to burst everyone's bubble here, but and again, that speaks to the fact that you don't have to be a 20-something to be able to get it or understand. And Dave, to your point, man, we really consider the offer of Car Biz Social when and if we take over the profiles, right? And that's Jeff Hunter doing every post, Instagram, Facebook, like that's top tier stuff. But we call it tier 2.5 because it isn't tier 2 where it's like, it's kind of regional, it's kind of this, but it isn't all the way at what they should be doing at a store level and where the real magic happens. We have a joint client of all of ours out in New York.
Yep.
And that joint, when that happens, the magic happens when they get involved, right? And they start sending him pictures. Oh, could you post this? Or, hey, we saw your video. We try to do something like it ourselves. What do you think? Like, these are the reasons we do it. And that's the consistency. That's what I want to bring up. And I'm going to turn to Jeff. Jeff, consistency in the game, right? Okay. When people pay you to do the work,
consistency.
You can guarantee you're going to get the number of posts you said. But if you hire somebody,
well, we had
good luck.
And there's also kind of looking at the post you do too when you're doing the analytics. So there's companies that are doing, you know, the social, but they're not doing anything past that. So like I've seen a dealership where they had vehicles up, and obviously I'm a GM expert, like to consider myself one. And 2 out of like the 3 posts I looked at were the wrong vehicle versus what they had in the actual thing. I actually commented on there saying, hey, just as a heads up. Nobody answered. It's never been changed. So like so that actually leads into my next thing, which is answering every and any DM and every comment. Because if we're doing the work, we're doing all that stuff for you. You're paying for us to do it, which by the way is very reasonable considering, you know, a lot of other things you can pay for. Why are you just going to leave all that on the table? I mean, it's like creates leads, and then not answering your emails or phone calls or walk-ins for the leads that you've
and yeah, Dave, and I think that's the point that we come across a lot is that the one thing, Chad, we can't do from a distance is we can't run your DMs and we can't run your comment section. It's just not right. I mean, you could, right? You could reply with like a chat bot does with a, we'll get back to you. And thanks for the comment. Like that's lame to make the investment you make with a program like a Jeff Hunter. To actually care enough, you should then care enough to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's, I mean, where I've seen over the years, guys, is like, it's been a battle to get dealers to want to care about social. It's like, I can't sell cars off of this. I can't tribute cars off of this. I don't know if I'm going to do it. Right. And so that's why I love what you guys are doing, because it is breaking it down. But like, I've seen some of the posts and I've seen some of the dealerships that we have in common, and I've seen them start to get engaged with it. And to your point, Sean, when we're all engaged with it, that's where the passion can really come. And that's where people get some really cool stuff. And speaking of that, speaking about passion and speaking about like how dealerships can get involved, you guys got a pretty cool little event coming up here in a city that I truly love, in Madison, Wisconsin. One of my favorite places to visit in general. But tell us, you know, I know that there's dealers probably watching that may want to come to this, that may be curious, because there's not a lot of social only events out there, period. So what kind of experience would they be looking for? What would they be looking to learn? Tell me, what is that kind of going to look like for the folks that decide to make the trek up north there? Yeah,
man, this is our second time doing it. Last year down in Austin, Texas, had an unbelievable sold out event. It was absolutely killer. We are the only one that we're aware of, dude, as far as social only event. And that's all that we bring to the table. That's only people we have. And it's about education. We've been talking about it here, but you know, one thing that Cookie's got nothing to do with is social media. So you can worry about your Google, you can worry about your tracking. So go to social, get better, be better. Right. And so for us, I wanted to have an event that would make a difference. And I've wanted, you know me, we've talked about events for years, all of us, and I have my feelings. And so I go out of my way to be the anti-event. I don't want it to be the same way. I want it to be small. I want it to be niche. I want it to be dealer focused, right? So we decided that we would put together some of the best people in social. So this year, last year was kind of a democracy, how we got to the list. This year I decided that I was done with democracy and I was going to my way. So I picked my city. I picked my hotel, I picked my venues, and I picked my route, my people. And Jeff Hunter is on that list, obviously. But what they can learn is
just made it.
Yeah, I mean, be glad he works here, dude. Right? Like, that's for sure. But no, it's A to Z, and it's from we're going to cover the basics in the first part of the day, and then we're going to get into the next level when you bring up a guy like this. And I'll let Jeff talk about who he's bringing on board as well, because he's going into the store retail and bringing up one of the biggest names around.
Sweet. Let's hear about it, Jeff.
Yeah, it's funny because his name might not be known, to be honest with you, because he's behind the scenes. He's not like in front of the camera the way I am, but he runs a dealership, the socials and brand for a Cadillac dealership in Indiana. His name is Jason Fox, and there's a reason why they're selling Cadillacs nationwide right now. There's a reason why an Indiana dealer, one of the largest Cadillac dealers in the nation, Indianapolis. I mean, it's a big enough city, but there's a lot bigger cities than that, and there's a reason for that. And that's he's gonna. That's one of the many people that are going to tell us, you know, their success and how they got there, and just great stuff online. So so there's some cool stuff to talk about with him.
Remove the excuses. I want dealers to show up chock full of excuses, chock full of reasons they can't do it. I'm going to kick the show off by putting all those up on a board. I want to address, before the day is over, I will have addressed everything that is of a concern to someone in that building with people who live it every single day, right? I'm not bringing in TikTok. I'm not bringing in Facebook. I'm not bringing in Google. We're bringing in people who actually use those platforms, know how to use them, and dominate at them. That's what we're going to be bringing to the table. And like I said, it's just something that you won't find that level of attention. It's going to be such a small group. But the coolest part is after we're done, we're going to walk, as you know, Chad, about 18 steps around the corner to Cooper's Tavern. And we're going to have a beautiful private dinner for every attendee there. I don't care if 75 people show up this year, then 75 people are coming to dinner.
Love
It
it.
does not matter to us. We are going to have, because it's about the network. It's about the best part of last year's show, besides Jeff Hunter's walk around in the 100-degree heat. By the way, in September in Austin, you guys are going to love September in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I got news for you. But that's why this year we're gonna get that to the next level, and we're gonna really, the dinner that we had impromptu last year, turn this idea around for me. And so, yeah, I'm gonna have a killer event. I really want to have a killer after party where everyone gets to enjoy the people that do the job, other content creators, other managers talking to people who struggle. That was the absolute magic.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned
And as
community.
a heads up, the one thing I just wanted.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, sorry. The only thing I wanted to say to what he was, if you didn't already get in the gist of all this, is with our conference, what we want to do is we want to talk with people, not at people. That's, I think, the biggest thing that if we can take out of this is we're with you, not at you. We want interaction. We want, back and forth. That's what it's all about. Sitting and listening to somebody and taking notes. I mean, I can do that on a webinar, right? I mean,
and Chad, I'm gonna bribe people. Okay, I'm gonna bribe people to do that. I'm gonna go with the Wisconsin tradition. We like to have raffles for everything in Wisconsin: meat raffles, car raffles, you name it. So we're gonna be doing raffle tickets. I'm gonna be giving away a ton of content creator gear, dude. A ton of it. Winning raffle tickets after every session, a major giveaway at dinner. Dude, we're just going to have fun with it. That's what we're saying is every good comment, every good question is going to get you another couple raffle tickets. So we can have some real engagement. If people want to sit on their hands, they should stay home. This is something where we want you involved and engaged with the people around you, because you won't find a better room of professionals to answer all your problems really in one spot.
I love it, man. Before I pass it to Dave to close it out, I'll tell you guys, the passion's heard. You talked about the community online, and now you're creating one with your event. And so I'm pumped to see how it turns out, and couldn't be more pumped for you guys.
Well, I mean, just to build on that too, it's an experience, watching these two out there present. I always say, educational and entertaining. I mean, you learn a lot, you have fun. I mean, like this is one that we highly encourage you to go to if you have any kind of interest in this, and they make a real difference. So we're excited to endorse that from Reunion. That's what the series is all about. It's kind of funny because we try to make these videos, short, digestible videos, but we knew with you two on, there's just so much to talk about.
2 videos.
This is the longest one we've had. We're probably going to be close to double here, but that's what we love about you guys. You have so much to talk about and teach about. So if anybody's interested in learning more about CarBiz Social or about attending this event, what's the best way for them to reach out and then get some more information and talk to you guys?
Well, on CarBiz Social, reach out directly to Jeff Hunter. I mean, we do own the URL. Don't know how we got it after all these years, but we own carbizsocial.com, which is awesome. You can look up the actual product there, but the product means nothing. What the product is sitting in front of you. So you reach out to Jeff Hunter. If you can't find him, just put in General Motors Jeff or Jeff GM Hunter. Either of those will run you directly to his page. And for the event, beingsocialauto.com. Check it out. Tickets, hotel block, which is going rather quickly, as are some of the tickets. So get involved as soon as possible.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, check it out. I mean, we highly encourage you to. These guys are great, very smart, and we're excited to share it with our client base and our friends. These guys are great. Check them out. So
thanks a lot, guys.
for being on.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.